this is Larry the Barber Man, and today I am at Barber Connect 2017 with a remarkable young man by the name of Jack Robinson Pullen. Jack Robinson Pullen is a barbershop owner, an award-winning barber, and the founder of an educational academy. So Jack, you're just a 25-year-old young man. You've done quite a lot. All those achievements were achieved with you being younger than 25. So just talk me through where you actually started in barbering, at what age, and how you found yourself in this wonderful trade.
Okay, so I started in hairdressing when I was 13 years old in a salon in Milton Keynes called One Salon, and my mentor at the time, his name was Graham Horn, and he's a fantastic hairdresser. I then went to work in a lot of different salons in Milton Keynes, including working alongside people you've interviewed before, like Greg McCurlane, worked for Tony Roberts, and a few other people. And then I eventually moved up north and opened my first barbershop with my girlfriend and business partner in Thirsk in North Yorkshire.
Okay, and the name of your barbershop is?
Is King and Captain Barbershop. Okay,
so tell me a little bit about King Captain Barbershop.
Okay, so King and Captain Barbershop is now 13 months old. We've got 5 members of staff in total. And I opened it with my girlfriend and business partner, Tyra. We opened the shop. It was a little bit lucky that we opened the shop, really. It was something that just became available at the time. I was looking to open the shop for many years, but never had that opportunity in Milton Keynes because of how expensive units were and rents were in Milton Keynes. And when we had this opportunity to take over this shop, we got given a very, very good opportunity. And we just had to snap it up when we did. So now it's been open for 13 months. I have actually ran training days from that salon as well, and we are now looking at opening our second shop.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your shop. What makes it different from all the other shops in the area?
Okay, so when we took over the shop, we had good foundations. It was a shop that had already been running for a couple of years. I think the actual barbershop itself had been there for about 30 years under numerous different owners. But we took over a shop that had good foundations, and we had the opportunity to be able to grow that and develop that. I think what makes it different to other salons in our area is that where I've worked in Milton Keynes for so many years and sort of had that influence from the outside of London, the modern techniques, the modern styles, trends tend to filter out from them places like London and Manchester, and gradually reach certain areas. So where I've taken what I know from Milton Keynes and taken it up north to Thirsk and where our new shop's going to be in Catterick, we're a bit ahead of the times compared to the other shops around there. That's not knocking what they do, they're just a different type of shop. But what we do, we have got a lot of loyalty schemes and appointment opportunities for customers, which brings a lot more people into our shop. We do charge a little bit more for what we do, but I think that it's valued in the quality of work that we do.
Tell me a little bit about the styling that you specialise in, or is it general?
I think that over the years, I think the style of barbering that I do, I love doing my patterns and I like doing my skin tight work, my skin fade and stuff like that. I think most people do nowadays. But I think the one thing that would separate my work from a lot of other people's that you see is that because I started off in hairdressers and moved into barbering, everything's a lot softer. These strong, sharp, square shapes that a lot of people are producing in their work is fantastic. But for me, I like a lot softer images, so a lot more of a sort of a feathered, textured image. So I like using my scissors a lot more than I do using my clippers.
Okay, so the next natural question will be, you're an ambassador for Scissorhands, which is a scissor manufacturer.
Yeah.
Every time I've seen you at all these shows, Jack, you normally have, I don't know, must be in excess of 3 dozen scissors strapped to you. Today I was cheeky enough to ask you, other than your 6-inch scissors, what are all the rest of the scissors going to do? And you said you'll tell me in the interview.
Yeah, so I started working with Scissorhands 3 years ago now, and when I joined them, it was actually off the back of my car being broken into and losing a lot of equipment, and I'd saved up enough money to go out and buy a pair of scissors. So I started by going to Hair UK. I met Ashley and Linda from Scissorhands, and I actually just bought a set of scissors from them. Off the back of that, I used them scissors to enter competitions and sent my pictures back to Ashley and Linda to show them what I'd done with them scissors. They have a very good relationship with their customers. So at the time I was a customer. Off the back of that, they offered me to go down to Salon International, do a 1 hour slot, which turned into a day slot, which turned into a weekend slot, which turned into me becoming an educator for them. I think the thing about what we do is it's all about helping people. It's all about giving them the education on what scissors are all about. So we do stock 3 main different types of scissors. It's a straight blade, which can vary in length from sort of your 5.5 up to your 7-inch scissor. And we have a texturizing scissor, which is our trademark scissor called the Evo. And it's a 15 tooth layering scissor. And it makes your life so much easier because you don't have to go back to do 3 or 4 different jobs, i.e. cutting your baseline, point cutting, texturizing and removing weight. You can do everything all in one hit, and it does make your life so much easier. So that's just a little bit of a plug.
Okay. And the rest of the scissors?
We also have what you would know as a traditional thinning scissor, and we talk about a kit, like a barber kit, how you go about creating your images, not just with one straight blade or 2 scissors, but you can have a variety of different tools. So the ideal kit for us is 1 short blade, which you work inside the knuckle and by point cutting. If you ever do need to point cut, because the Evo sort of takes that away from you, you don't really need to do that. A long blade for your scissor over comb and your club cut and your bulk removal. Your soft cut, which is better for like blending, like softening blend lines. You can work through the whole back and sides of a gent's haircut using a soft cut, no problem at all. Your traditional thinning scissor, and your Evo, which is your layering, your texturizing, and sort of your all-in-one. I like to call it like a Swiss Army knife of scissors. It makes your life a lot easier, a lot easier.
Okay, so all the rest of them are varying.
A variation of that. So I think in our range we've got about 56 pairs of scissors now in our range, which is quite a big range. But Ashley, who designs the scissors, and I've helped to sort of check the scissors over, make sure they're right to go out onto the market. I've given him a lot of ideas as well. But he designs them because he's a hairdresser and a barber designing the scissors. It makes it a lot easier for him to produce something which is very good for the market, as opposed to just picking scissors from here or there. Every scissor has a specific job. So we believe that all scissors have a job, and we make many variations of them scissors, i.e. obviously different colours and different types of steel as well. So. Okay,
so you just said that when you were sending off your images for competition,
yeah,
you were hashtagging or sending the images directly to Scissorhands.
Yeah.
Some of these awards and competitions you actually won.
Yeah.
Name me some of the competitions that you won.
So I've won multiple NHF regional competitions. So these are competitions which you go and you stand in front of a crowd of people and you have judges walking around checking your work over. So I won that. I won the NHF in Wales in 2014, it was, but I've placed in the final of HJ Men's Barber of the Year, World British Barber of the Year, and the BBA Masters 2 years running in 2014 and 2015.
Okay, and what you got planned for the rest of this year and the early part of next in terms of competition? Okay,
competitions, I haven't done anything for about a year. I felt that I was getting to a point where I'd sort of got to all the finals and all the competitions that I wanted to. And when I was younger, I actually set myself the aim of, I wanted to be on the Wild Artistic team. That was my dream, that's what I wanted to do. And when I reached the final of the Wild competition, I'd got up onto their stage, I'd cut on stage in front of the hundreds of people that surround their stage at Salon International, and I felt like I'd sort of achieved one of my dreams. I thought I'd done what I wanted to do. So I took a bit of time out from any competitions, and it's still burning inside of me to want to get back into them competitions and win them competitions, and another one of my dreams to get on that Wild Artistic team eventually.
For me, this could prove very difficult because not only are you a barbershop owner of King and Captain, you've also got your own barbering academy, which is the MBA,
yeah,
which you started from the age of 21.
Yeah.
Juggling all these things.
I know, I am very much, and my girlfriend will definitely tell you that I'm very much a person that I flitter a little bit. When I do something, I do it wholeheartedly and passionately, but I will do that on 6 or 7 different things at the same time. So it can become quite difficult and to manage a schedule. The thing with the Wild Artistic team, it was a dream from a very, very young age. It wasn't going to happen when I set up the academy. When I set up the academy, it was to help get people education more accessible and easier for them. So I got to around about 19 and I wanted to learn more. So I went on a couple of courses, but then when I went to these courses, I felt that they were expensive to get to. A cost for a ticket for a course or something like that was quite expensive. So it wasn't very accessible for me at 19 years old. I didn't have a lot of money to go and spend on all these courses. So I wanted to come up with something that I could give more to the people that were booking these courses and make it more accessible for them. So when I came up with the academy, we decided to, I say we, at the time, it was actually myself and my mum who come up with the idea and really, really worked on the idea. We go out to salons and we give them an educational material pack of over 50 pages of educational material. We do demonstrations and then we work with them on their weaknesses and adding new techniques and new skills to their arsenal. So it started off as just myself, and now I've actually got a team of 12 people that go out alongside me to go and deliver courses in salons, barbershops and colleges all over the country. So although currently it would be a conflict of interests, it would be a big decision that I'd have to make at the time whether I was to pass my academy on to somebody else and join a wild team if it was to ever happen, or I would give up on that dream and continue what I'm doing. But currently I'm quite happy doing what I'm doing.
So the burning desire to work as a wall ambassador could make you bin, for lack of a better phrase,
and
the
I've said that numerous times before. It's something that, against everything I do right now, because obviously I work for a scissor company and I love Scissorhands with all my heart, and Ashley Howard, I cannot thank him and Linda Howard enough for giving me the opportunity to do what I do with them. But I think they know in themselves as well that working with a clipper company, namely Woll, is one of my dreams.
So why not Andis?
I've got nothing against Andis. I'm not going to lie to you, in my salon I use Andis clippers. So I do use the Supra and I do use the D8, and I do think they're brilliant clippers. I also use Babyliss clippers. I think the thing for me, and you have to learn when you become an educator, that you have to be impartial to using lots of different tools and working with or representing lots of different companies. You can't just say that one company is the only company, but again, I've always swayed towards using Woll clippers. So it's one of them things. You have to be used to using many different tools and working with many different people and giving many different opinions, because it's not about it's about how many times you can do that with different things. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, perfect sense. Okay, so Jack, you're a 25-year-old barber, a successful barber, an entrepreneur. What words of advice could you pass on to that young barber who wanted to emulate the success that you've had?
I would say have an open mind and constantly want to learn more and more and more. I find that when I go out on courses and I work with lots of different people, I've worked with people who've been cutting hair for 40 odd years and they're still open to wanting to learn, but I've also worked with people who've been cutting hair 5 years. I've only ever worked with one person and closed off their mind to learn new things. So I think the most important thing in this industry is that you're always open to learning new things and you never ever disregard any technique, any product, any tool in any way, shape or form. Because I think if you do that, then you're going to limit yourself massively.
Okay, and I want you in particular to talk about listening to your elders that have experience, because I've heard on 3 different instances from 3 different people that have worked with you that said you're a troublesome and rambunctious person. Yeah. But you go back and see these people now and they say Jack is a reformed character.
Yeah. I don't mind that people say that. And the main reason for that is I think if you're passionate about something, sometimes it doesn't come across the way that it should come across. And I mean, I write for Barber Evo now. And this is one of the things that I've just spoke to them about, is I put a piece to them recently, and it was designed to come across quite hard hitting and to sort of separate views, to make people think about views. And the thing for me is, when you're so passionate about something and it just sort of oozes out of you and you can't control it, sometimes it doesn't come across in the right way, even if you have the right intentions. So a lot of people think this about a lot of different people in our industry, and I think the way that it is, I mean, there was Luke Dolan wrote an article recently about egos in the industry, and I don't think it is egos. I think everybody has got an ego, and he was right in saying that. I think it's more of a case that people are passionate about things, and sometimes they don't believe in other people's views. So it doesn't always work. Sometimes it conflicts. As opposed to mentors and people above you in terms of age and experience, I mean, some of the people that I've worked with for a number of years, Chris Foster, namely, is one of them, and he's given me years of advice and guidance. And to think that we actually sort of are in competition now, because he's got an academy and I've got an academy, but I'll still always go to him. Mike Taylor's another one. He's got another academy now. And I'll always go to them for advice still myself, even though, like you say, I've got 12 years under my belt. I think that's quite a bit of experience, but there's still people that you go to ask for advice all the time and still look up to these people because they've been in it a long time. Gary Machin, Eric Lander that I've worked with at the BBA, they're all great ambassadors for the industry, and they've all got great views and great passion behind them. So they always look to everybody, younger or older, to take experience from and to take knowledge from.
Perfect. Jack Robinson Pullen, thank you very much for giving me your time, sharing your experience with me. This will come in very handy for people that are younger than yourself, younger than 25. You've done remarkable things and continue to do them.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.